All right, greetings everybody. Welcome to the live stream today. I am your channel host, Gio Pensino, for the Wellpreneur community, and super glad to be with you here today. I do these live streams every Wednesday from 12 to 12:30, and the topic that we're on today is how to attract your next 5 clients. And no hype. I am going to show you exactly how to get your next 5 clients. And the question might be, why 5? Why am I talking about 5 clients? And I'll tell you why. Because if you do things properly within your transformational practice, whatever type of practice you might have, and in fact, I'd love to hear what kind of practice that you do have in the comments. So drop on into the comments what kind of practice you have, and see if I can kind of pick up a little bit on what it is that are your ideal clients, and so we can talk more specifically about that. So the question is, why 5? And my answer to that is this, is that 5 is all it takes. Because if you do things properly and you provide a high level of value within your program, whatever it is that you do, then 5 clients are really all you need. And what I mean by that is, generally when I'm working with people, helping them to create their practice or their transformational programs, whatever that might be, is we look at what's the proper pricing for what you're doing. And there is always a sweet spot, right? Where sometimes you could actually be charging too much and people will be like, I wonder, they're a little suspicious. They're like, how could it be that cheap? There must be something not right about that. And then of course there's the other side of it, which is like, man, that is just too much. So getting your pricing right is super important. But what is that right pricing? And I'm not going to go too deep into it right now, but I will say this, which is that when you do something that is a high value for a client, like you solve a problem that's really important to them, then there is a high value to it. And kind of give you an example, I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and he has been enrolled in a really super interesting shaman training program. And he was kind of relaying to me that they, in their program, that they went off to Sedona, Arizona, to get part of the training and have part of the experience and everything. And part of that experience with the shamans and the teachers in the program were to, bring intention into a certain part of the training or a certain part of the experience. And my friend, he brought into intention that he had been in pain, in physical pain, for like over 10 years in his life. And that pain was pretty debilitating, painful, right? So I don't need to say much more about that. Anything that's painful in the body makes it hard to do a lot of things. And he told me that he had that pain for more than 10 years. And he told me that he brought the intention into that shaman circle to be released from that pain. And what they were doing is they were connecting with their ancestors. And so he connected with one of his ancestors who apparently also had that same pain. And that ancestor apparently came and helped him to release and let go of that pain that had been with him for over 10 years. And you could imagine his joy. When I spoke to him yesterday, I don't know how long after this event, but he told me that pain is gone completely and entirely. And so that's what I talk about in terms of choosing a problem to solve for clients that has a high value to it, and being very specific about what that problem is. And I kind of posed it out into the community as I was getting ready for this live stream for some of the new members. I was asking people, to share your website and share other links to what you're doing and everything. And when it comes to, let's say, solving a a super valuable problem. One of the keys to your ability to both attract clients in the first place, make people even want to talk to you, and then also to have people want to pay you money for it. And in my case, I'm recommending typically that you put together a program or a package, a way of solving a problem that has a value of at least $2,000. Because again, looking to solve a very specific problem, a problem that has a lot of value to the client, not to you, but to your client. That's one of the keys, is not take the focus off yourself and look out to your client community and ask them questions in terms of what's causing them problems. But choosing a problem that has a high value to it. I'll give you another example of it with a client that I worked with personally. I help people to develop these types of online or live transformational programs that have high value to them, that solve really important problems for the people that they're serving. I worked with one chiropractor who was based in Scottsdale, Arizona, and she had a very successful practice as a chiropractor, and she just met the love of her life, and he was just finishing his doctoral degree, his PhD, and he knew that they were getting married, but he knew that he was probably not going to be able to stay there in Scottsdale, and so she knew she had to do something in order to make this whole dream become reality, and that meant to be able to do some kind of a program online. And so she had had personal experiences with painful fibromyalgia and other types of nerve-ending type pain herself personally, and so she had personal experience with how painful that is to have that problem. And in a lot of the allopathic world, they really don't have a whole lot of solution for it. They'll give you a prescription for this and that, but it doesn't really solve the problem. So she had personal experience with it. And one of the client groups that she served as a chiropractor were people who have issues with diabetes. And people who have like more advanced diabetes often develop this condition where neuropathy is what the name of it. I'd never heard that word before, neuropathy. I'm like, what is that? And she said that it's when the nerve endings, oftentimes in the feet, they kind of lose circulation, and for a number of different reasons, they start to become painful. And that's where it starts off. And that pain can be going on for a number of years, initially just super painful. So she decided to focus her program on helping people to maybe solve, maybe live with, maybe to make it better type of thing, to resolve the pain and to get circulation going in the body, because that's one of the main things, both with diabetes and a lot of issues really, is movement. And people stop moving when you're in pain. You stop moving. It's kind of a knee-jerk reaction, but counterintuitively, that moving is the best thing you can do. So long story short, she creates a program to work with clients with this issue of neuropathy. And like I said, it's a very painful problem, and it has a high value to getting a solution to it. And so, again, working together, I helped her to devise a program and a protocol and a way of working with clients in the most efficient way. And one of the things about transformational programs, or to me even anything about working with clients, is getting them to the solution and designing the solution, designing the fastest way to get the solution, because that in itself has a lot of value. So she designed the program, and she decided herself to make it a 12-month program because she felt like one of the key things that she could offer to people was simply the accountability of moving, the group support, the peer support of other people along the same journey. And then, of course, she added her techniques and tools and different things to stimulate the nerve endings with TEMS machine, different things like this. And she decided to settle in on a price point of $5,000 for the program. And we launched the program through a combination mostly of online webinars. And we did 2 series of live webinars. and attracted about 50 people per webinar. And out of those 50 people, much smaller number of people signed up to speak to her on the phone and have a discovery call and talk about the solution and what was involved in it. And the end of that conversation was, sharing the price point to it, and the price point was $5,000. And within 30 days, a little bit less than that actually, we did 2 weeks of webinars. She enrolled 10 clients into that program, and so that was a $50,000 success for her. And more so than the money, she was able to see that she could create an online program that clients would want to have. So long story to make this point about 5 clients, why I chose to talk about this topic of 5 clients, because oftentimes when I'm first working with people, I kind of give the recommendation to start at a price that might even actually be lower than what you'd like to charge, or the value of it. And so maybe a $2,000 price to solve an important problem. Again, I think about my friend with his back pain. He told me that the shaman program, he didn't tell me what the price of it was, but he said it was significant. And it wasn't, he didn't do it to solve his pain in his body, but that was a natural outcome to it. And anyways, long story short on that is you create a solution for a problem that has a lot of value to it. And at a minimum price point of $2,000, and you enroll 5 clients, that's $10,000 per month. And that's what I call going from zero to freedom. If you can establish a way to attract clients, which is what we're talking about today, you devise a higher ticket program, at least $2,000, and you enroll 5 clients into that program on a monthly basis, that's a $10,000 per month source of revenue. That's your freedom right there. And I talk about that a lot because there's a lot of reasons why we do the work that we do. Most of us are called to it out of a certain passion, and we have skills. But ultimately, if you have success with it, you want to get the freedom of having good clients and a good program that gives you at least $10,000 per month. So that's kind of why we're talking about 5. So within this topic today, how to attract clients, there's 3 keys that I help people with, or 3 areas that I help people with in order to activate that freedom-making machine. And these are the 3 areas, 3 keys to freedom that I talk about, and they're really quite simple. They're quite simple. They're problems to solve that will open the doorway to getting clients and to getting a good source of income for yourself. And that's what I want for you. The first thing is choosing an important problem to solve. And people are not going to pay you much money unless you have and you communicate that you have the solution to an important problem. And there's so many important problems in the world, you don't have to look too far in your area of expertise to conceive of something that you can help people with that has a lot of value to it. And the mistake that I often see people make is charging by the hour to do something. And the problem with that, there's so many problems with that, but I'll just mention a couple of them. The biggest problem is that you typically cannot solve a problem for a client in an hour. You probably can't solve it for them in 2 hours. And where I actually find it a little bit misleading, I had a chiropractor that I worked with once, a different one, who never told me, gave me any sense of how long of a period of time. So I didn't even know myself whether I needed to schedule another appointment, or not. And to me, that is the worst way to leave people, because people need to know what is the complete journey to get to the solution. And that's why I recommend that you design that solution and you offer that solution, the complete from beginning to end of that solution, and then you charge one price, one check, one payment for that complete solution. So the first step is an important problem to solve, put it together into a program. The second thing that we're going to talk about is how to attract leads to you, attract people that want to come and talk to you. And then the third thing is how to create an ease of sales, how to, have a process that you talk to people that's not salesy at all. It's just a way of speaking to them and finding and helping them to find the solution. So the first step, like I said, is designing a product, and also I say, AKA, also known as the problem that you solve. And you probably noticed if you were engaging in the Facebook community here, I asked the question, what do you help clients with? What do clients typically come to you for? And you can think to yourself about that, like, what have you helped clients to do in the past? And what is the thing that people most often come to you for? Because in order to attract clients, in order to attract those 5 clients on your website, on your social media page, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, different things like this, having clarity about what that problem is, naming it essentially. And there's two ways of naming a problem. Again, on your web page. So the very first part of the web page should have this offer, this kind of terminology, and there's 2 ways to define it. One is that people sometimes have a problem. They have something that they want to get rid of. Like my friend, he had this pain. He had this steering pain ongoing for 10 years. That's a fairly common thing. And if you do work anywhere around body work or osteopathy or chiropractor or anything like this, many different areas, my friend, he went to a shaman. That's a fairly common thing. There's a lot of people in the world, unfortunately, that have chronic pain. So do you have chronic pain that you'd like to be rid of completely and entirely? Now, yes, there are some parameters around what you can say in your offer, in your homepage, whatever like this, and I do help people to craft those, and that essentially is the communication. People might have something they want to move away from, and then on the other side of that same equation is that sometimes people have things that they want to acquire. They have something that they aspire towards. And so I was talking to another client earlier today, and we were talking about how sometimes people who are in leadership positions, who are, leading a group of people, maybe speaking from stage, we're talking about ministers, different types of people who are in leadership positions, and they want to be able to express themselves, because to be able to speak, but then my friend, she's in the performance space, and she's just an amazing singer and dancer. She's got all these skills of self-expression that when somebody who's on stage can then add that layer of seamless self-expression to move, to dance, to sing, man, whether you're a minister or you're leading a group, holy cow, now you have something that's super valuable, because when it comes to leading people, the words that come out of your mouth is only a very small part of the nature of the communication. The tonality, the way you move your body. So to be able to sing, to be able to be poetic, to be able to move in a way that captivates people's attention, that becomes a very powerful leader. And so in that case, with my client, my friend I'm talking to today, to be able to help people do that, that's a super valuable thing. So asking yourself, what is it that you can help people to do? That is the very first thing, in getting that into words on your website, on your social media, and creating clarity. The second thing is, okay, so I get you. I hear what you're saying. And the next piece of the triangle, the process, is, okay, I got some clarity on my website, and now what? Okay, so the next thing is that you got to get people to come to your website or to come to your little pop-up event so that you can attract people and attract interest. One of the barriers to attracting clients is that nobody knows who you are. They don't know, they've never heard of you, they don't know you, they don't even know that you exist. And that's a sad fact, but it is true. Unless you put yourself out there in a certain way, Again, through social media is one of my favorite ways because it's like having a free TV channel. I mean, oh my God, in the days past, you would have paid, tens of thousands of dollars to get onto a TV channel. Now you got like live stream on Facebook, just like I'm doing now, or on Instagram, and you could attract a bunch of people to you if you have clarity in your message and you're able to communicate how it is that you can help them to solve a problem. You create clarity around it. People are going to want to talk to you. And so when it comes to where are they, how can you attract them, I do say social media. As much as I love to be in live events, I kind of prefer live events, but man, that COVID thing kind of knocked me off my pedestal because that was my best way of getting clients speaking, doing small group speaking events. Well, we can start doing those again. But, social media is a lot like doing speaking events. So you can live stream, or you could go into existing groups on Facebook where your ideal people are already gathered, and you could start to engage in conversation. You could answer people's questions. You could start posting your own things. So what I'm talking about is Facebook groups. You definitely want to have your own Facebook group, but maybe you've got a Facebook group, maybe it's not that active, or basically that. So where do I get my leads? Go to other Facebook groups, join other Facebook groups in your topic area. Let's say you're in the space of transformation, which is real close to my heart. I was on a Facebook group for an Eckhart Tolle Facebook group. And man, that group had a huge number of people on it. It was so active, it was almost overwhelming. It was like being at a convention. And when somebody would post something, there would be like 50 comments to it. But by engaging in groups like that, where your ideal clients are, then you can really attract people to you. So go to existing Facebook groups. And I saw Tess on here, and I would love to be able to share your comment, but my thing's been a little funny today. It won't let me share the comments, but thanks, Tess. I'm hearing Tess saying that she's getting a lot of clarity about how to do this, and hopefully, whether you're listening to this live or you're listening to the recording, that you're getting what I'm putting down here, because this is how you could attract people to you. And it's a lot of it is mindset, because what is social media and what are social media groups? They're just like networking groups. They're just like groups of any sort. And how do we activate it? We go there. We show up on a regular basis. What do they say in Cheers, that old TV show? Like, I can't remember it. Maybe you can help me with this. But it's like the place where you're known, where you show up on a regular basis and people start to know you. They start to value the contributions that you're making. And so this would be my recipe for you right now. You could do this as soon as this live stream is done, and all the days afterwards, is spend a little time using the search tool on Facebook and think to yourself, who are my ideal clients? Like, I figured out a little problem I want to solve for people. Maybe let's say it's addictions. Let's say people have problems with addictions. Maybe that's an example. Well, there are recovery groups on Facebook. Let's say it is in my area in transformation. So I mentioned one, Eckhart Tolle. Any author, think of the Four Agreements. There's going to be a transformational group around the Four Agreements, around books and authors and topic areas where people are on that topic. So go use that search tool on Facebook, join those groups, and then the magic really is in the engagement. And this is both true for attracting leads to you, but it's also a tip for your own Facebook or wherever you're cultivating your community, is to ask questions, engage, answer questions, that kind of thing. So let's look at the very last thing here, which is, okay, so I got some people coming to me. Actually, there's a little nuance I want to add before we move on. So people are coming to me. How do I get them to actually, let's say, come on over to my community? Well, I say, you're gonna be engaging, and people are gonna be like, oh man, I like what you said. They give you some love, they get you a thumbs up, maybe you're actually in conversation with them. Then, what is the magic tool? Messenger. Messenger on Facebook is like having a little phone call, a little phone channel to everybody's mobile phone. It goes right to where they are, and you could invite them to be friends. That's a good first step. And Facebook has some funny little restrictions and this and that. Sometimes you can't message people who you're not friends with. So oftentimes I will invite people to be friends and then start up a conversation on Messenger. That's not going to work for everybody. Some people are not active on Messenger, and that's okay. But if you do this consistently, you join groups, you start to engage, ask them to become friends, and then strike up a conversation. And there is a process that I teach, a very particular nuance called sell by chat, how to start that conversation up. And if you'd like to learn more about that, you can connect with me personally through a chat. You could, connect with me that way. But that is basically that process. You engage, you connect, you invite them to become friends, and then you strike up a conversation using chat. The last area that we're going to talk about, this is really the key to the whole thing, because it's great to design a great product, a solution, a high-ticket solution, and have clarity around it. And then, but you got to be able to enroll clients. And how do we do that? And people do. I know they stumble in this area. I did myself. I remember the first time I went to sell something. I was like 19 years old, and I was selling these little bundles of birch bark wood for Christmas time to these these stores that I thought would want them. And man, I was shaking in my boots. But luckily, I had a mentor with me, somebody who knew how to support me and say, hey, you can go do it, and kind of gave me a few tips about how to do it. And I went and did it. But the first time, I was kind of shaking in my boots, and that's normal. That's going to happen when you step into this process of talking to somebody. But I will tell you this, that you have to talk to people. In order to enroll people into your program, you got to talk to them. It is very difficult to sell programs just completely online. Let me share you the link, and then you're going to sign up. That does happen. There is a process to it, but it is way more difficult than you might think. And the opposite of that, which is it's way easier to build a relationship through chat and then actually have a conversation with somebody. And we might call this a discovery session type of conversation. And it does have a certain format to it, which is it's basically asking them some questions. It's some Socratic questions like, what's causing problems? Why is it that you want to come and see me? Why did you decide to schedule a Zoom call with me? What's on your mind? And they will tell you. And the other question is, if you could get over that problem, what would things be like? And why don't you tell me what that looks like for you? Like if you could have it anyway. And I know my friend Mark, who I was talking about, who had the pain, he probably wouldn't have to think much to say, I want to be out of pain. And if you're in the pain management area, you have different techniques that you use around, getting people out of pain. They're going to tell you, I got a pain, I got it in my toe, I got it in my tooth, I got it in my head, wherever it is. And then you said next is, what would you like to have happen? What would you ideally like to have happen? Well, I'd like to be out of pain. Would you like to be out of pain a little bit or completely and entirely? I'd like to be out of it completely and entirely. So, and then the conversation carries on. So consultative selling, that is that's really the next key. There's three pieces. Like I said, I've been talking about three things that are required in order to have a product first, then attract people to come and speak to you, and then have a consultative process to enroll them into your program. And that's basically how the whole thing works. And I'm excited for you because I know there's so many people in the community here. Like I said, I asked questions beforehand, like, what do you work on? What do you help people with? So I know people in this community. I've been, engaging in conversation uh, got a person who's like has this incredible rapid transformational technique that she learned from Marissa Peers, and she's like, super good at helping people to make change quickly. Well, that sounds like a pretty valuable thing. And again, connecting it to a very specific problem. So that's why I asked that question. People who are like in addiction and are really down on themselves, man, they would like to be over that. That's a problem worth solving for people. And if you can do that, same thing in the fitness space. I know I've got some people here in the fitness space, and people would like to maybe lose weight, get back in shape. Well, there's a little bit of a process of like figuring out what do they really want. Like maybe they want to lose weight, but it's usually for some other reason. And that reason might be that they want to get back into the dating scene. Maybe they want to get the ideal job, and they're kind of, low energy, and their body is not in the great shape. So who's gonna get the ideal job is going to be the person that's in shape, that's got really good energy. So choosing a problem that is really worthy of solving, that's where you create value. And then getting on social media, doing some live pop-up events, attracting people to you. The other thing I didn't mention, I got to respect our time here because I'm going to wrap up here in a couple seconds. But you probably already have a list of people on your phone that might be interested in, you already got a little list of leads of people that would be interested in speaking to you. So that is another good source. But these are essentially the three things to overcome or to learn about in order to attract 5 people. You don't need this giant social media following. You just need 5 people. And so if you got a group of, let's say 50 people on your social media or on your phone or wherever it might be, you only need 5 of them. And so reaching out, making an offer, getting them into a discovery session so you can talk about what it is that you have available, you can attract and enroll 5 clients. You could do that by the end of a week if you had all your ducks in a row. And sometimes it does take time to get those ducks in a row, depending on where you are in your own journey. But if you've got your skills all down and you've been working with clients already, and you know the value of the solution that you bring to people, the journey from that place to, let's say, enrolling 5 clients in a $2,000 program, earning $10,000 per month on a regular basis is a fairly small journey. I helped my chiropractor client do that, about $50,000. She had a little higher ticket program. We did that in about 30 days because she knew what she had to offer, and we packaged it together into a program, created a way to attract leads, and bing, bang, boom, she is off doing what she wanted to do, getting the freedom to work with clients so she could, move with her new husband and all this. So that's basically what we're talking about, freedom. That is the center of the center for me, is helping you to get freedom. And the ultimate freedom in my world is to do what you enjoy doing, express the gifts that God gave to you in a way that you love to do, not too much, not too little, but the way that you just love it, and to serve clients and help them to achieve what it is that they want to achieve and to get rewarded in the process. To me, that is ultimate freedom. That is what I call freedom. So hopefully you found that helpful, and I do apologize that I was not able to see the comments here on my funny little live streaming tool, but I'm going to wrap up here. And what I would say be super helpful to you in a next step is to drop in the comments below here what the problem is that you want to help people with. And even if you're just figuring it out, drop it into the comments, because that'll do 2 things. It'll help you to get feedback from other people in the community. It'll help you to bring some clarity. Even if you're still figuring it out, that's okay. That's part of the creative process. You may not know what it is exactly, but just drop a comment in. This is what I think I'm wanting to help people to solve. This is what I would like to do and to attract people around. And let us shower you with some love, with some clarity on that and some feedback to it. And we'll support each other in that process because, yeah, I've been doing this for a long time, for a little over 12 years. But I'll tell you what, one thing I've learned from that is that we learn so much from each other. So you may get feedback from me, you may get feedback from other people in the community, but that's what this community is for. It's to support you. And the only way that we can support you is by engaging. And so drop a comment below what you're thinking about, what you're working on, what you want to build your program around, and any other questions that you might have about any things I talked about today. And I'll drop on in there and give you some feedback on it. So thanks a lot for joining me today. And if you want to get some personal help from me, what I would say is just send me a message. Use Messenger to send me a little note just saying clients. Like if you want to get those clients and you need a little bit more help than I was able to give you here in this 30 minutes, send me a little Messenger thing, and we will get onto a discovery call ourselves and talk about the details of how to do that for you and how I can support you in a more powerful way to do that and to make it actually happen for you. So freedom, do what you love, be rewarded from it, and express your natural gifts. That is my message. And that's what I got for you. And I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday, same time, same place. Thanks a lot for being.